Hey, what's up with it, King? What's up with it, Queen? You already know who it is. It's your big brother, Demont Pope, a.k.a. Mr. Purpose, over pointless excuses. Look, y'all already know what time it is. Week after week, we've been bringing you value. Look, my job is to inspire, right? Motivate, right? Educate, empower, right? And all of my guests do the exact same thing. So every week, we've been adding value on top of value on top of value, and it don't stop here. But look, I need you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, right? Hit that notification bell so you know when we release a new content. Do me a favor, hit the like, man, if you're getting value. Leave some comments, share it with about 10 people who you want to see walking their purpose. But look, without any further delay, without any further interruptions, I want to introduce to some and present to others my very special guest, Mr. Logan Taylor, aka I call him Mr. YB Normal. Yeah, what's up with it, King?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well, bro. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, bro. I'm honored for you taking time out of your schedule to come add value to the people that listen and view the King Speaks podcast, bro.
Oh, no, bro. Listen, I'm honored, bro. Literally, man. I'm so honored, bro, and so proud of you, dude. I really appreciate you allowing me to be on your platform. I really appreciate the opportunity, bro. And like I said, man, I'm so proud of you, dude. So, it's a privilege and an honor.
Wow, man. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. Don't be trying to get me emotional, man, on this podcast already, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, bro. I'm grateful. The honor is mine. I'm humbled, man. To God be the glory, bro, in all that we do, man. So let's add value to these people, man. Let's just jump right off into it, right? Let the people know, right, exactly who is Logan Taylor, right? And they heard me refer to YB Normal, right? So tell them who is Logan Taylor and what exactly it is that you do.
So first, I always tell people that I'm a father first because that's my first ministry.
Yeah.
And, my kids are my why for why I do what I do. And, of course, yes, I'm a speaker. Yes, I'm an author. Yes, I am an educational consultant. Yeah, all of those things are great. But my first ministry, bro, are my kids.
Yeah.
And so, I'm a father first. And so, why be normal? What why be normal is who we are and what we do. We help economically disadvantaged at-risk youth. We help them overcome obstacles through empowerment speaking, curriculum development, as well as mentoring and coaching. And so, we have a curriculum development program as well as curriculum development journals that are wrapped around social and emotional learning, as well as PBIS. And so, I do that in the school system, dealing with educators as well as scholars. And so that's, who we are and what we do. And so I go all over the country, go do personal development with teachers. I go do, speaker assemblies with scholars and things of that nature. So that's what YB Normal is. And that's, who I am, just in a condensed version.
Yeah, bro. Hey, look, King, I love it, man. You're doing some powerful things. Shout out, man, to all the fathers, man. I definitely relate. You had me right there. You know what I mean? Because I, too, am a soldier in arms, man, in fatherhood, right? So shout out to all the fathers who are doing their thing, man. And listen, man, you're doing some incredible things in the community, working with the educators. You are a motivator and inspirer, right? Working with the PBIS development, right? Social emotional learning, right? And I can relate as I am also doing the same thing in the school system. So let's talk about this, right? Let us know how long you've been doing that, right? How long have you been working as a motivator, inspire, as a life transformer in the educational space, consulting, if you will?
So 2015 was my actual first, 2015 was my actual first speaking engagement. I actually spoke to a middle school basketball team.
Okay.
And then from there, it went to a middle school basketball team, to a high school all ladies group. And then from there, it was a elementary school that brought us in to do our curriculum development program. And after that, it just caught like wildfire in my community and where I'm from originally. And so after that, it just started just going up. It was no limit, man, literally. When I say the sky was the limit, I don't even tell people that the sky is the limit anymore, because it's just like God has blown my mind. Yeah. So That was, whew, man, 7-8 years ago. So yeah.
Wow, man. So we talking about a 7-8 year journey, right? Something that started small, something that started that some may consider a humble beginning, right? At one middle school, right? And then you said that small spark, right? It caught a blaze, right? It caught a fire, right? And it spread. You use the term like wildfire. And we know that when that oxygen, when that wind hits that fire, it causes that fire to build up, right? So it built up to a level where it began to move from that middle school, right, to an all girls group, right, to an elementary school, and to all of a sudden now you were brought in to facilitate, right, the curriculum that you have built, right? So I just want the people to see the levels of what it took. That's why I like to ask, how long have you been doing it? Because some of us will get discouraged, Logan. Some of us will start out on this walk, on this journey, in this marathon of purpose, and then when it don't look like what it's supposed to look like, me personally, I can attest to the fact that sometimes you'll want to throw in the towel, you'll want to give up, right? And that leads me to the next question. Because there were certain levels of consistency, there had to be a level of determination that you had. So talk to us about the motivation, right? The inspiration that led you to become an educational consultant, a motivational speaker. Let's talk about the motivation behind you choosing this particular career field or this particular purpose acceptance, right?
So the motivation behind it was in 2015, I'm from a small city, man. So I'm from a city by the name of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Shout out to 423. That's my home, man. That's my city.
Yeah.
I'm from a small city, and within a week, man, just to paint a picture for people, within a week, we had somewhere between 15 to 20, maybe 25 shootings or killings in a week. And majority of those people that were affected by it, whether if the person pulled the trigger or the person got shot and died or somebody's kid got hit, like I knew those folks in some type of form or fashion. So whether if our families knew each other, we grew up in the same community, we played sports together in Little League, maybe we went to school together and things of that nature. I knew majority of those people. And for me, I felt like that was a cry out for help. And so at the time, I was in Florida on vacation, and I can remember having a conversation, and I was saying, hey, I want to do something with giving back. I don't know what it is. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't even know what it's going to look like. However, I want to do something that, I can give back to my community because, my grandmother has always taught me, you need to leave a place better than the way that you found it. So I was just like, all right, cool. Like, what can I do? What can I do? And so my baby boy's mom at the time, she was asking me the what, the why, the where, the how, all of those different things. And I didn't, I was just answering stuff back to back, back to back to back. And there were some of the things that she asked that I didn't really have an answer for. And I was just like, yo, like I need to I need to do this. I want to do this. And I can remember in 1 hour, I had 40 missed calls because somebody got shot or somebody pulled the trigger or somebody's house got hit or somebody's car got hit or somebody's kid got shot. And now they're permanently, they are unable to walk permanently for the rest of their life. And so I was just like, man, like I said, it was a cry for help. And I was just like, yo, I got to figure something out. And I can remember being at the red light at that time, right before we got to our hotel. And I remember my baby boy's mom asking me, hey, what do you want to name it? And I remember sitting at the red light in the turning lane, getting ready to turn left. And there was a car behind us. And when you have somebody behind you, especially in traffic or whatever, like after so long, they're going to blow the horn because they have road rage or things of that nature. And that's what happened. And it knocked me out of my thought process. And I said, I want to name it YB Normal. And we just went from there. And as soon as I got back, I started researching, I started looking stuff up. I started looking on how to get into the schools. I started looking on, how can I speak in schools? What are the best things that I need to do? And so, that's where we started at.
Wow, man. Listen, so the motivation and inspiration was specifically a call to action, right? It was an answer to the call for help. Right? You were closely connected or indirectly connected, right, to somebody that was involved in the 20 plus killings in your community. So it was personal, and it hit different when it's personal, right? It hits different when it's personal. So because it was a personal call to action for you to literally jump out, leap out, run out into your purpose, right? In an effort to solve that problem, to become the solution, to personify, right? To be that active agent of change in your community is where it started. And now you traveling all over the country, you traveling all over the world, right? Because of that purpose, because of that something, right, that started, that little spark, right? That little flame, right? That took wind and spread like wildflowers. I can't even talk right? That spread like wildflowers, right? Now you're affecting the nation on this level. Now, and since we're talking about affecting the nation on this level, and since we're talking about the motivation behind you coming up with the name Why Be Normal, because guess what? That's a normal everyday life. Trauma is normal for the people where we come from in the community where a lot of us grew up at. The trauma is normal for the people who may be viewing or listening to this. They may come from some of the same conditions or even worse conditions. So they're not a stranger to the trauma that you just described, but a lot of us don't understand that it's trauma. We think it's normal. So why be normal? Like I get it. Like I get it now. I didn't get it the first time, but I get it now. Like I didn't get it when I first met you and you broke it down, but now I get it. And I just want the listeners to know, if you getting value right quick from Logan, right, from Mr. Why Be Normal, go ahead and hit the like, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, right? Let us know how it's impacting you, right? Also, hit that notification bell. And again, subscribe, right? Let some people know what's going on. Share this thing out to the community that you are affecting, right? Don't be infecting, but be affecting your community, right? So listen, let's talk about how, since you're going national, right, international, worldwide, doing what you do, walking in your purpose, let's talk about how what you do actually adds value, right, or help the people who you serve. Talk about the impact, right? Talk about the response that you get, right? Talk about the fulfillment. Talk about the results, so to speak, that the people get, or your audience get, or those you mentor, or those you educate or speak to. Talk about that.
So the impact, man, is man, I get emotional thinking about it. The impact, man, is really, bro, it's life changing.
Yeah.
Like real, like, man, I get emotional thinking about it, man, because of some of the kids that I come across, man. Like, I really have some students that I have encountered, bro, that have really like pierced my heart. And I got one kid, I want to say before COVID. In 2019, we had a kid that went through our curriculum development program, and he was on a first grade reading level in the 5th grade. Went through our program, we walked with him, we did the program, we did the before and after pre-test and post-test, getting the data and things of that nature. And then after he finished with the program, he went and took a test after we talked to the principal, his mother, and the reading teacher. Bro, don't you know he bumped up 2 reading levels?
Come on, man. Come on,
right?
Speak, King.
But the thing is that he was labeled, bro, the worst of the worst. And he wore that he wore that symbol. I'm not gonna say crown because it's not anything to be proud of. He wore that symbol over his head, bro, and he was proud to be that, right? Because if I'm labeled the worst of the worst, I have people that are scared of me. I can, act out, or I can be funny, or I can interrupt class and things of that nature. And when he got with me and my partner Dante, it was like, yo, we got to cut that out. Like, we're not having that. Like, that's not who you are. No, well, Mr. Logan, that's not who you are, right? So, it's encounters like that, or, little bitty cities like Plattsburgh, New York. I'm sure some people have probably never heard of that. But I spoke to their 4th and 5th graders and teachers. And I went there, man, and there was this little girl, redhead girl. She was in the 4th grade, and I remember after speaking and her coming to me, and I remember she just literally just came to me and was like, "Hey, I'm facing those things that you're talking now." And she said, "What you said really gave me hope." And then she just cried in my stomach, man. And it just really, bro, like it really tore me up. But the one that just really just like took me to another level, bro, was a high school kid gave me, and this was probably early on. This was early on. So I had spoke to, a few high schools early on when I first started. And this kid gave me his suicide letter.
Whoa.
Bro, it tore me up, bro. Like literally, man, it tore me, bro. I left, prayed for the kid, talked to the administration, letting them know, you know what I'm saying, to be looking out. This is what, this is the information that I was provided with. I wanted to share this with you all. Here are some resources and things of that nature. And then after that, man, I went to a car, bro, and cried.
My goodness.
I cried for at least half an hour because it was just like, I'm like, God, like you used me, like you used a little scrawny kid that came from nothing, right? And you just allowed him to be able to use his voice, right? And you used me to be able to stop somebody from killing themselves. Like, bro, like you gotta understand how powerful that is, right? Because in this day and age and in society, like you said earlier, there are people that are dealing with trauma, right? As well as mental health. Like mental health runs in my family, trauma runs in my family. Like I was taught and raised on survival mode. So every day, right? When I say every day, bro, every day, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get a meal, right? How am I going to eat, right? The trauma just behind something as simple as that.
Wow.
Are our lights going to be cut off? Like I can remember being in high school, bro, because we didn't have the money. I'm sorry. I can remember being in middle school, I can remember being in middle school, and I remember us staying from hotel to hotel to hotel to hotel because we got kicked out of our house because my biological mom couldn't afford to pay for the house. And so we had to stay in hotels for an ample amount of time. But it's like we packing our stuff up every day. And I'm like, hey mom, are we staying here tonight? I don't know. Wow. Right. And so it's just like, I'm asking her that, every other day, hey, are we staying here? And so you got to pack your stuff up. And I had to pack my stuff up in a little black garbage bag. And then my grandmother came and got me, right? My grandmother is the woman that raised me. That's my heart, man. Like, oh, I love her. Oh, I love her so much. She is literally, bro, my guardian angel, because I know if she didn't step in the moment that she did, bro, like I probably wouldn't be here.
I feel
and
that.
So like I said, man, like that kid with that suicide letter, it really pierced something, man, on my heart. And I'm just like, oh, bro, like, God, like, dang, like, God, like, you use me. Like, is this what you called me to? Or is this, you know, my purpose? Like, I question everything in that moment because I'm like, I ain't qualified to, you know what I'm saying? Like, at that time, I'm like, I ain't qualified to do something like this. Like, why me? You know what I'm saying? But I realized that, you know, I really do have a gift that God has called me to, you know, speak into the schools. God has called me to speak life into people. God has called me to serve, right? That's my biggest thing, is serving. And you seen that, right? Like, you seen that at the conference. Like, Logan is going to serve. I'm not worried about nothing else. Like, bro, I don't care about the accolades I get. I don't care about the awards, like none of that. Like, you've seen that. They called my name. I got my award. Oh, thank you for the opportunity. I'm so gracious. All right, let me put this down and go back to my post because I have a job to do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, man, you dropping so many jewels, man, so much knowledge, so much information, so much game, so much experience, bro. And the humility, bro. I have witnessed the humility. I have witnessed the servitude, or if that's the word, I don't know if that's the proper word. Y'all get me later on, but right now I got to move on and flow on with it. You dig what I'm saying? So I salute you, bro, because you're doing a lot, and I want to highlight for the viewers and for the listeners, like the work that we do as speakers, as youth motivators, right? The work that we do, it's not just life changing, right? It's life saving, right? God has given us a purpose, right? And you've been a witness to that purpose. When that kid gave you that suicide note, you realize at that point that, again, what started small, right? That spread, right? That little bitty spark, right? You knew it was something bigger, right? You knew that at that point it's something that you just couldn't turn off when you felt like it, because you knew it was about others. It wasn't about you anymore. So what we do, it's selfless. And sometimes we take major hits, but when you have moments like that, then you understand why you took the major hits and why God allowed you to survive, so that you can be the evidence, right? The personification of survival, right? And pursuing your purpose, right? You saving lives. So I'm honored again, man. And let me ask you this, because that definitely teaches us that those who we speak to, right, they face challenges, they face problems. Like, I know what it feels like, right, to not want to live anymore. I know what it feels like to feel like a mistake, to feel like an accident, to feel like I can't do anything right. I know what it feels like to literally go to bed and not want to wake up the next day. And when I do wake up the next day, I'm upset with God about it, because I too had wrote a letter like, God, if you love me, don't let me wake up tomorrow. God, if you love me, don't let me wake up tomorrow. God, if you love me, don't let me wake up tomorrow. And I kept writing these letters, but something kept happening. I kept waking up, and then I never ever saw tomorrow, because every day I woke up, it was today. You understand what I'm saying? It was today. So let's talk about a challenge, right, Logan? Let's talk about a challenge that you're facing, King, and how are you handling that problem so that you get to the solution, because there's always a solution to every problem. So let's talk about a problem. Let's help somebody get through to the other side, right?
Oh man, absolutely. Great question, man. Man, I faced so many challenges throughout my lifetime. But thus far, what I have learned is I've learned to be grateful. I've learned to be thankful. I've learned to show gratitude in the midst of my storm, right? Like, I talked about, so my baby boy's birthday was June 25th. And I had trouble writing a post about him. Like, it took me quite a few, it took me some hours, right? And it usually doesn't take me that long. But I say all of that to say that, like, I really believe that my word for my family is resilience. Like, and when I say that proudly, because Bro, I took my kids, man. You know, I'm divorced, and I took my kids, man, through a divorce, and it crumbled me. It crippled me. Like, bro, like I was left for dead. I was sleeping in my car. I'm sleeping on people's couches. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not my grandmother's house was hit by a tornado. I had COVID. My daughter had COVID. My oldest boy had COVID. Right? Like I lost all my speaking engagements. Like, bro, like I was literally, bro, at rock bottom. And bro, if it wasn't for my kids,
Wow.
I'm gonna just be real. If it wasn't for my kids, bro, like y'all wouldn't see any more of Logan Taylor. You wouldn't see any more of YB Normal. My kids saved my life.
Wow.
You know, I did therapy. My therapist saved my life. My therapist, journaling, and my kids saved my life. And I know for a fact, like, bro, if I didn't do the shadow work, if I didn't, you know, force myself to go through the journey and the process, bro, it wouldn't be no more of me. And so what I've learned is that in the storm, bro, you still have to be grateful. Yeah. You still have to show thanks. You still have to praise God. You still have to honor him. You still have to honor people that are depending on you. Yeah. Right? And so, bro, I tell people like, yo, like, just think about when you went through something and you was like, yo, I ain't gonna get through this. Right? Because every time that we accomplish something, we go to a new beginning. Not a new level, but a new beginning. And so when you go to that new beginning, you're going to a place of unknown because you've never been there before, right? I went from doing YB Normal free for 2 years, and then boom, I get my first 5-figure check. Yeah. Then boom, I get another 5-figure check. Yeah. Right? And then I'm like, oh man, like this is what this feels like. Like, oh, the schools are supposed to be knocking down my door now. That's not what happened.
Talk about it. Come on.
Right? That's not what happened at all. Yeah. It's not what happened. I let my foot off the gas. Right? And whose fault is that? That was mine. And the reason why I say that because I'm big on accountability, I'm big on self-awareness, I'm big on taking responsibility for things. And I took my foot off the gas because I thought, oh, now that people know who I am, and now that schools know who I am, and that our programs are in schools, they gonna come beating down my door. That's not what happened. I should have applied more pressure in that season of my life. But because I didn't, right? Because I reached that level where I went free for 2 years, and then I go from being paid, and I'm like, oh man, they getting ready to beat down my door. It's a wrap now. No, that's not what happened. And so, you know, in the middle of the storm, bro, like I've learned to be patient. I've learned to show gratitude. I've learned to be thankful because I'm gonna get out of this just like I've gotten out of everything else. Yeah. I'm just facing something different that I've never encountered before. And so what I would say to your audience is that when you are encountering different opposition or different obstacles in your life, embrace it. Because what it's doing is that it is helping you get to the level that you've prayed to God about. It's helping you get to the level that you desire. But first, you have to go through the storm, right? Because life is going to see how serious you are. Life is going to see, oh, okay, you want to make 100,000? Okay, first, let me, you know, break your car down. First, let me see you go through a divorce. First, let me see your kid gets sick or you lose a family member or something like that, right? Like I lost an uncle to COVID. I lost one of my good friends to COVID. My brother died of suicide. But I told myself like, yo, like, yes, Logan, this is this is what you're going through, but it helped me shift my perspective, right? Like my brother died off suicide, right? He died off suicide, and I switched my perspective, and it helped me understand how important time was. And so I became very, very, very intentional with my time, so that way I spend it with the people that I say that I love. They get more of me.
Yeah.
Because before COVID, they was getting less of me.
Come on, speak, King.
So I say all of that, bro, to say that when you're going through a storm, 1, you should embrace it. 2, you should show gratitude. 3, you should be thankful. And 4, you should always, bro, always document the process, because you want to see where you came from.
Yeah. Listen, man, you drop so much, man. Like, it's like you done flowed through like the next 3 questions, like all in one. And that's something uniquely divine about what's happening right here. Like that's when you know it's purpose, because you're answering the questions before the questions even get answered, right? So it lets it be known that somebody needed to find the answer to that, because you answering those questions was organic. It just happened. It was a divine situation. Like you already talked about the obstacles and the challenges, right? The storm that you talked about, that you went through. And then you talked about the lesson, not one lesson, but you talked about the multiple lessons that you learned as a result of that storm, right? So sometimes failure isn't failure. Sometimes failure is the experience, so that you gain the knowledge and the understanding of the information, so that you can execute better the next time. But like you said, when you got that incredible opportunity, instead of you applying more pressure, you took your foot off the gas, you slowed down, which is what some of us do. We get arrogant, we think we've arrived, and we stop putting in the work ethic. We stop doing the minuscule, the mundane things that it took to get us where we got. Now, look, Logan, this is what I want you to do. I want you to let everybody know where they can connect with you, your social media handles, your website. Let everybody know where they can connect with YB Normal or Logan Taylor.
Okay, wonderful. So our website is ybnormal.org. And of course, you see the hat, the letter Y, the letter B, and then normal with the question mark. It's a conversation piece. So ybnormal.org. You can find us on all social media platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YB Normal 2016. That's how you can connect with us. That's how you can find us. Demont, bro, listen, man, I am so honored and proud of you, bro.
Man, to God be the glory, bro. I
appreciate it. For real,
it.
man. I am so honored and so proud of you, bro, just to be connected to you, man, and for you to share this platform, bro. Like, I really, really appreciate it, man.
Man, thank you, bro. The honor is mine. Listen, man, before we let you get up out of here, man, like I always like to end it with this one. Like, we done inspired somebody. We've motivated somebody. We've educated and empowered somebody. We've sparked a little flame in somebody, Logan, and they want to place their purpose, right? Their purpose over pointless excuses, right? They want to leap out. They want to run out. They want to jump out and begin this work, this journey, right? But something is holding them back, Logan. It might be fear. I don't know. It might be doubt, uncertainty. They may not have the finances. They may not have the connection. They may not feel like their why is as strong as your why or as strong as my why. So what would you say? Like, give me one thing, right, that you would say to that young king right quick, right? Or that young queen, perhaps, that may be watching, right? For them to take that leap of faith, to trust in themselves. Like what would you say to them, bro, to keep them from forfeiting or giving up on that purpose?
Do it scared.
Real simple. Do it scared. 3 words. I was expecting you to go in right quick. I was expecting you to make it complex, right? But you broke it down like a fraction. You broke it down into its simplest form. Do it scared. Listen, y'all, that's your big bruh, Logan Taylor. I like to call him Mr. YB Normal. Y'all already know me. It's your big brother, Demont Pope, aka Mr. Purpose over pointless excuses. I'll see y'all next week. Purpose looks good on you. Yeah.